Howdy folks, I hope you're enjoying the A1 Trading Show, and I just want to let you know that we are currently doing a flash sale on the EDGEFINDER. This week, you can currently get 25% off if you send a direct message to our support staff standing by who helps keep the show running smoothly. If you use the link that's being dropped in the chat or the first link down below in the description, you'll be connected to a real person on my staff who can set you up with a 25% off discount on the EDGEFINDER, and if you'd like to get access to the Discord, we'll throw that in too for a nice 25% off the price. If you have not already taken advantage of this sale, you can click the first link in the description or chat with us by using the chat link below. Keep on enjoying the show, and now let's get back to it.
Hey traders, it's James here from the A1 content team, and as we start today's stream, I want to share with you some exciting news from our friends over at FX2 Funding. FX2 has just launched their two-stage evaluation. The two-stage differs significantly from their one-stage, offering many benefits to traders. First of all, the profit targets are much more manageable, with 8% in the first stage and 5% in the second stage. Next, you'll get a 10% fixed overall drawdown that does not trail your account balance. You get all these perks on top of FX2's existing world-class customer service, high-performance technology, and a choice between two amazing trading platforms, CTrader and DXTrade. There's a reason FX2 Funding boasts a Trustpilot rating of 4.7 in this time of industry turmoil. They are a serious company run by seasoned business professionals and always take conservative steps to protect their traders. For traders looking to get funded, you can use promo code A1Trading15 to save 15% on all funded accounts. That's A1Trading15. The promo code can be found in the link in the description below and in the live stream chat right now. Now, on to the show.
Okay, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hope everyone is well. So yeah, as always, when I come into the stream, I'll talk through some pairs I'm looking at, any pairs I'm currently trading, and of course, any markets you're looking at or you want my opinion on, or whatever it be, leave it down in the chat and we'll get to it. But we're on the stream yesterday, and I said I was looking at silver for some longs, and I did manage to get into a trade on silver on the longs. Price came back to a lovely level of resistance and retested that as support. And this is where I did find my entry. Price was consolidating at the time. I was actually hoping we could actually spike a little bit lower because we had our 50% of the Fibonacci from that swing low to the swing high. We just missed out on the 50%. So I was actually hoping that yesterday we could actually come into the 50% and then push up, but we just missed out on that by not much, and then we saw a nice shift of momentum, and that's where I hopped into the trade. So currently nursing this position. That's the only trade I'm in at the moment. There are a few other pairs that do catch my attention, but in terms of dollar pairs, I'm quite on the fence. I'm waiting for NFP tomorrow to kind of set the tone. Because I find a lot of pairs are kind of consolidating right now. Euro USD not moving well. I know we just had the ECB interest rate decision, which did come out as expected. Looks like Euro is a little bit bullish off the back of that. But in all honesty, Euro is kind of in a big consolidation. So I'm not reading too much into the price because we're kind of not really doing much. Of course, if you break out, then that changes things. But at the moment, we're still kind of in that range. Aussie dollar, this one's in a range for me as well. USD CAD, we talked a lot about that one yesterday because we did have the CAD news yesterday, and this one's still kind of in that range as well. So, truthfully speaking, DXY for me, although yes, has been bearish, we're coming into an area where we could be forming a higher low, which is kind of my predicament. We've got the low here, second low there. We're in that area where we could be forming a higher low. So, DXY for me, dollars at a crossroads. Are we going to print in that higher low and see price push up? Or are we going to maintain that bearish momentum and continue down? And I feel like NFP will decide that for us. And then, yeah, I'll just be looking for my pullbacks. But it's been difficult. It's been difficult on the dollar pairs. What pairs or markets are people looking at? Okay, we'll take a look at NAS. I think Nick's on holiday. Yes, we do have jobless claims, actually. Let me just get up the calendar because I feel like it's in like 5 minutes or something. 1:30 normally is. So yeah, 8-9 minutes, we do have jobless claims, so that will probably move the market a little bit. Euro is really trying to push high at the moment. What's up, Dominic? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, with NAS 100, we're looking exceptionally bullish. We did touch upon this one yesterday. I said if we can get a pullback into this high, this would be nice for a retest, because I believe we were trading around here yesterday. Nice little pullback would have been nice for a retest and some upside, but yeah, the market was just very, very bullish. We didn't have that pullback, which would have been nice for some entries. And now we've created new highs there. So yes, you would look for another pullback now. You would look for another pullback. In terms of levels of interest, I know we've broken through a high here, but it's just the breakout's not big enough for me to consider that as a sufficient retest yet. If we were to break out a little bit higher, then I'll consider looking for a break and retest there, but it's not a big enough breakout for me. So I'd rather be looking at areas like such, which again, fairly low down. It will take a pretty big pullback for us to get there. But with the news we've got coming up, I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. So yeah, in terms of direction, I mean, it's still a very bullish market. We're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. Still seeing strength in these impulsive moves. So I would be looking for price to pull back and continue higher. And this would be my preferred level to buy from, trading around 18,700. So that's kind of my take on NAS. I mean, you could still be looking at a retest of this level here, but I'd rather get long from that level. So that's kind of my take on it, but it's still a very bullish market. We were looking at S&P as well. S&P really pushing off, creating new highs there as well, just about. Again, I would be looking at retest of these levels here for some longs, and just looking to anticipate that next high low. Excuse me. Dollar CHF we'll take a look at. We'll take a look at gold as well. Dollar CHF is actually a pair which I'm very invested in. I'm looking to sell if we can see a pullback. We've had a really nice move to the downside here. Price has been looking very bearish. I'm now looking for a pullback of that to then short. We've broken through a really, really big level here, trading around 0.90100. So I'm looking to see if the market can pull back into that same level. And I'm looking for downside. So this is the opportunity I'm looking for dollar CHF. Maybe we could see DXY push up off the back of tomorrow, and then we can get the sells maybe early next week. But in terms of market structure, we've had a big kind of consolidation. The market's tried to continue this bullish trend, but it's failed. We've cracked really important support. So I would be looking at a pullback for that next lower high to form. We had one over there, looking at a second there, and now potentially a third. And of course, the follow through to the downside. So dollar CHF looks really clear to me. Price action is really good. High time frames look good. Just now waiting to see if we can get that pullback, of course, to then short. In terms of gold, we had a nice little break to the upside. We were speaking about this descending channel yesterday on gold. And I said, not really eager to trade inside of it. But if we do see a breakout higher, things get interesting. And we have now seen that breakout higher. So let's see if we can print that higher low in next and just kind of continue to the upside. I'm looking at the retest of the high here at 23.53. Nice break to the upside. Now looking at a pullback. It would be nice to see if we can retest this for some upside, because what I'm looking at on the daily chart is still a very, very bullish market. Yes, we're a bit corrected now, and we did take out that high, and we did have a really aggressive pullback. So we are losing some steam. But the technicals are still very bullish here. Fundamentals, I'll still be very bullish as well. We have a lot of bullish momentum present as well. And by looks of things, it looks like price is trying to form that next higher low here too. So yeah, after that breakout yesterday, I'll be looking at a retest of this for some upside. I'm already in silver, so I'm not really eager to jump into gold as well. Gold and silver are very correlated. So, if I'm trading one, I'm kind of trading both really. So I'm not really keen to get in gold. Unless it looks really good, then I'll get involved, because my silver position is risk-free. So I don't mind if it does pull back against me. Of course, I would rather it continue. But if it does, I will be looking at gold longs here. But yeah, very, very bullish on gold going forward. We'll take a look at pound USD, dollar yen as well. We do have the dollar news in about 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. We'll take a look at euro as well. But in terms of pound USD, it's at some resistance now. We might see price react to that. Again, I'm definitely not a bear in this market. I'm looking for buying opportunities. I was talking about this level down here at 1.262 yesterday. I said it would be nice if we can see a push back down into that level. I'm still looking for that move. I do think there's a good chance we can see that. The market's quite corrective now, which is definitely a sign of the market losing a bit of steam, losing a bit of momentum, and we could see that pullback happen. And this is a really nice level, sturdy resistance. Price broke through with some nice momentum, never had the retest. So it's still a relatively fresh level. Should we get back here, meaning good chance of a bounce. And yeah, I would be looking at that next high low forming. We've had one back here, a second over there, and I think we've got a good chance of a third if we retest that area. So that's my plan with pound USD. Of course, I can understand people looking to short up high here, anticipating that down move. Not really not really the move I'll be looking for myself, but there's definitely some logic there. As we approach some major resistance on the daily chart, 1.28, we could see some downside. So if you're looking for some shorts, it's a good place for it. I would have my stop loss above the high there, just to have a safer stop loss. If we have another up move, that could be another excuse to short as well. But yeah, I'll be waiting for the longs further down. Dollar yen, last time I looked at this one, was looking a little bit bearish on the hourly chart. Not much there. Again, dollar yen still very confidently bullish on the higher time frames. We got the dollar news in the moment, so I'll take a look at some dollar pairs in a moment. But dollar yen still very much in a confident uptrend, so I'm still expecting upside. I think there's a good chance we get back to the resistance up here at 158.200. So I would be looking for buy opportunities, but in my book, if you didn't enter down here, I feel like the buy is kind of the train's left the station a little bit. It's a bit of an awkward time to be entering buys now, as we do approach this kind of area here where sellers will be sitting in the lower time frames, price support, term resistance, brief area of supply there as well. So I wouldn't really be looking to buy the market now if you weren't already down there, or maybe we do get back down there for a double bottom and then push up. So think about that. But now I wouldn't say makes the best opportunity for a buy. So I'll wait for price to relax a little bit. But yeah, we have jobless claims coming out. We had, of course, euro interest rate just came out. Euro, of course, is looking pretty bullish right now. Let me see how that's reacting to other euro pairs. Okay, yeah, euro Aussie's pushing up. Euro pound's pushing up. Euro yen's pushing up. So yeah, euro is definitely bullish across the board right now. So yeah, I'm not liking the price action really with euro. It's choppy. There is a somewhat of an uptrend at play, but it's very, very corrective. Very, very corrective. So not really planning to follow it. Okay, so we've just had jobless claims come out, and so far that's giving Euro USD even more of a kick to the upside. So potentially some weakness, but again, I'm waiting for my candle closures. We've had 115 euro interest rate, and we've had 130 jobless claims. So we've had two kind of news events within this hourly candle. So I will be waiting for that candle to close before I read too much into the price. As I was saying yesterday, waiting for the candle to close after the news, then we can kind of digest price a little bit better and see how price is reacting to the news, because sometimes we do like leaving our wicks and pulling back and then even becoming bearish or bullish. So a lot can happen in that space of time. But yeah, right now we are looking pretty bullish. Let me look at some other dollar pairs. USD pushing up a little bit, pound likewise, Aussie dollar pushing up a little bit. How's my silver trade doing? Silver's not really doing too much there, a bit of a wick to the downside, but pretty much still in the same spot. Dollar CHF pushing down. How's gold looking? Gold's had a bit of a pop to the upside there. Again, not really anything too crazy. The real moves will probably be tomorrow of NFP. How's DXY looking? Yeah, DXY a bit of a bearish candle there. So again, we are looking bearish there, but truthfully, we're still trading comfortably at support. So it doesn't really do too much to me unless we break through support. Then of course, yeah, that's a significant move. But if we're just going to close bearish into support and then just consolidate, till tomorrow, then in terms of price action, doesn't really mean too much. Need to see some conviction there. How many trades do you take on average? I take about 3 on average a week. Okay, bought gold. I'm looking to buy gold. If it does set up well at that level. But not at the current price. But I do think we can see upside. I mean, if DXY is going to react bearish and maybe break through the low, then you would expect gold to push up as well, of course, with the inverse correlation there. So I would expect gold to push. I'll expect silver to push as well, but not really doing that right now. It's actually pushing a little bit down. But we'll see. I'll wait for candles to close. And again, I'm not going to actively manage the trade. I'll just let price do what it needs to do. My stop loss is at break even. Should it hit it, exit the trade. If we continue to rally, fantastic. So we'll see how that gets on. But yeah, euro still trying to push higher. I think I should be waiting because not only do we actually have the hourly candle closure, we actually got the 4H candle closure as well. So it's going to be a really interesting candle, a really interesting closure at 2 p.m. or wherever you are in the world, 2 p.m. UK time. It will be very interesting to see how this candle closes because it might indicate potentially a break higher. And if we do something like this over the next few hours, then yeah, I would be looking at some pullbacks for euro and some continuations. But it's got to be a sharp breakout. It's got to have momentum. If you touch on some of the indices, we spoke about US 100, looking at pullbacks, S&P likewise. US 30 is kind of the awkward indice right now because we've had a really, really big move to the downside, whereas S&P have created new highs. US 100 created new highs as well. US 30 is far, far away from doing that. I'd still be bullish. I'd still be expecting more upside. And as I was speaking on yesterday, I said if price was to come back down into the low, I think that's a smart place for a buy. Stop loss under the low, anticipating support to hold, and seeing that next higher low. Because as we can see with price, there's no real indication that we're about to reverse. We haven't taken out any significant lows. Yes, it's a pretty harsh move down, but it hasn't violated any structure yet. So longer term, still very bullish on US 30, but of course we can't neglect that momentum. So I think some short-term sales do look good as we approach this brief range here. Strong move down, move sideways a little bit, another big kick to the downside. If we were to get back up there, I do think some short-term sales look good. Just trying to take advantage of the reaction there. But yeah, longer term, still very bullish on that. So I do think we can continue holding. As I said with gold, do expect price to push higher, but it will be interesting to see what we do on the retest if we get that retest, because I don't know, gold might just keep pushing up higher. But yeah, for me, like I said, I'll be waiting for NFP. I know we had a bit of news today, but NFP will be the big mover tomorrow, and that will kind of set things up in terms of the direction for the DXY. You can see you're already starting to pull back a little bit there on the dollar. Still overly bearish, but we're leaving behind a wick. So we'll see how that candle does close on the hour. But if it does close like this with a big wick to the downside, then it's a bit of a nothing candle to me. Yes, it's looking somewhat bearish, but if we're just going to look bearish into support and not break it, then if anything, we could bounce on the next candle. So yeah, we'll keep a close eye to see how that does close. But at the moment, not really doing much for me. So yeah, dollar pairs, just very awkward for me right now. Dollar CAD consolidation, Aussie dollar consolidation, Euro USD consolidation. Dollar CHF looks really, really good. So hopefully you can get a pullback for that one and some more downside. In terms of the yen pairs, I'm still waiting for bigger pullbacks for these ones. Still very bullish. Again, higher time frame, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. We're still respecting those lows, still breaking higher. I know we've seen some big bearish candlesticks as of late, but they haven't really done much in terms of market structure. For CAD yen's case, this was our prior swing low, which gave us the new high. All price done was come back, respect the level and bounce. So I'm still looking for buys to take price higher. I just need price to come back to support. If I'm going to get an opportunity to get long, pound yen likewise as well. Should we see another push down into support, I would be looking to take that higher. That could interest me over there. New Zealand yen, this could interest me as well. Not as much as CAD yen. Reason being, CAD yen still got room to the upside in terms of the levels here on the left. There's a big level of resistance, which I think we've got a good shot at coming back to retest. Whereas New Zealand yen, we've actually just taken out our highs. So we don't have as much as a reason to head higher. But CAD yen longs look good. Dollar yen longs look good. Should we get back to support? Euro yen likewise as well. I think Euro yen's got a good chance of taking out that wick. So yeah, still very, very bullish on the yen pairs. Looking for opportunity to buy them, but I need them to come a lot lower. So we'll be waiting on that. Hopefully we can get that bigger pullback. And CHF JPY Marcus as well. Yes, another yen pair. This one's still pushing higher. This is probably the most bullish out of the yen pairs. I think CHF is still pretty strong at the moment. But yeah, CHF JPY is still pushing higher. We've actually just taken out the high here, which now price is now creating a new all-time high. So although with CHF JPY, everything is bullish, monthly, weekly, daily, all the major time frames are pointing up, 4 hours pointing up, hourly is pointing up. You know, this is a market which I would only be looking to buy. But I need to see a pullback because we're creating all-time highs right now. So the chances are a lot of people who are already in buys, you know, a lot of those positions will be being closed right about now because a lot of people will be targeting that all-time high after this. There's kind of nowhere else logical in terms of the market structure to target. Maybe you're looking at psychological levels, yes, but realistically, a lot of positions will be exiting right around here, and a lot of sellers will be jumping to the market as well. So I would expect to see a big pullback at some point for Swiss yen, and that then could give us the opportunity to get back into some buys and take it back up. And for me, this is a really nice level here, sturdy resistance, nice sharp breakout. Haven't really had to retest that level as well. 172.5, so that's kind of where my focus will be with Swiss yen. But yeah, need a bigger pullback there. Hopefully we can get that soon. But yeah, looking at the CHF pairs, you can see we've had a really big moves down. So CHF is really strong at the moment. But I do think that will be coming to an end pretty soon. And Bitcoin's trying to push higher, but not really doing too much right now. So yeah, on Friday, the last day of the week, I'm not really too keen to get into any more trades. If I'm still in my silver position, that of course will be an interesting trade to hold because dollar is going to be impacted, and it will impact silver's price. So I won't really be looking to try and get into any other dollar positions. Of course, I'm a swing trader. I'll be holding trades for a longer time. So it's not like I'm in and out of the market very quickly. So I won't really be trying to get involved with any other dollar pairs. Any other pairs that do interest me, I do like Aussie CHF. If that does hold support, this massive level here on the left should be bounced from there. That could interest me for some longs, but I need to see some really strong rejection because at the moment the market is really, really bearish. So I need to see some really strong signs that, okay, the market is starting to hold support and we're likely to bounce. But right now, there's not much stopping us absolutely selling off the cliff and continuing lower. So I need to see a little bit more there from Aussie CHF before I get into any buys. And same thing with New Zealand CHF as well. Big level here on the left. We already had somewhat of a bounce. I'm looking to see if we can come there again, show some more rejection. Maybe I can hop into some longs there too. But those are the only other two markets I'm looking at. I know they're not popular, but I do like the price action I'm seeing. Like I said, dollar pairs waiting for NFP, and I'll just keep monitoring my silver position. Yeah, so in terms of the S&P, looking for upside there, these are the two levels I would be looking at, 53.20 and also 52.98. I think those are two lovely levels. Should we get a retest of that? I'm really liking the break higher for S&P. Really big candles, really impulsive, breaking us higher. So should we see a pullback, I do think we've got a good chance of forming that next higher low. Same thing for NAS as well. Really big candles ripping higher. I would like to see some pullbacks. 18.928 looks good, but I would rather this level down here at 18.670. But yeah, both looking for buys. US 30, I'd like the buys not as much as NAS and as S&P, but if you're looking for buys on US 30, I'll be looking at the low here to take price higher. In terms of the DAX, still pretty bullish on this one as well. I'll be looking at a retest of this area here, really sturdy resistance. To me, that is like a really nice place for a long. Right now, kind of looking at this as a big pullback, a big bull flag. And if we can see another push to the downside, test broken resistance and support, I think that's a nice place for a long position and trying to catch that next high low. So yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out on DAX longs. But generally speaking, still pretty bullish across the board on the major indices. For gold going forward, as I've said, if you're looking for buys, keep an eye on this high here, 23.52. That's where I'll keep my interest in. But gold's a bit interesting because I wouldn't want to hold this one through NFP. So if you're looking to trade it, I think maybe if we do test it, I think this session could be a nice session to trade, or maybe tomorrow London. Try and be out before NFP, and then we can re-go again and see what happens after that. But yeah, if you're looking to trade gold, I would keep a close eye on this level here. That is the level I'll be looking to buy from. If we break through it, then I'll kind of take a step back, because we've had a nice descending structure. Price is broken out of that. That's a strong indication that we're about to go bullish. If we were to break back inside, that's a sign that this could be just a big fake out and might actually be seeing a lot more downside at that point. So if we do break back inside the level, I think that's a bit of a red flag for the buyers. And if anything, that might be just a big fake out. So really, really important level. If we can throw some wicks into that on the hourly chart, that'd be great. And that could be a nice location to look for some entries and see if you can take price higher. But yeah, in terms of direction, very, very bullish on gold. What's up, Kiki? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I've come up to the end of my segment on the stream. So yeah, we'll keep a close eye to see what the dollar news does tomorrow. But yeah, I think I'll just sit with silver and just keep an eye on other dollar pairs, because I think next week will be very interesting. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me. I think Hannah's joining. There we go.
Hey, Miko. Yeah. Like, I put your channel in the chat once more. I appreciate all the help you did while Nick was gone. Me and James were really appreciative of that. We saw you marked a couple days down. We were like, yes, okay.
No problem. No problem. Always a joy to be on, to be fair.
Oh yeah, no, we love having you. And guys, go sub to Miko. He's been a lot of help this week. And Miko, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see ya. Thank you.
All right, guys. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the show. We got our next guest coming. We got Marco from Marco's Trading Journey. You know him, you love him. You saw him probably in Nick's video where he interviewed him. If you've never been on the channel before, that might be where you know him from. Oh, now I'm at the top of the screen. I'm going to run a quick break, and then we'll be right back with Marco right after this.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the Edge Finder or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker Eightcap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to Eightcap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
Hello guys, welcome to another live stream. So classic Thursday live stream. Tomorrow is NFP, I believe, and on NFP I stopped trading at around 1 to 2 a.m. On a Friday. So just a heads up for the NFP event. Any questions, any chart requests, make sure you put them in the chat. I have it open. I have my chat open right here on the right side. So I'm going to be taking requests for chart analysis. First question is, where is Nick? And Nick is gone. I'm taking over the channel. No, just kidding. Nick is on vacation, and I think he'll be back next week. But until he's back, let's analyze my 6 currency pairs. So I do trade these ones. See? These 6, I do trade them live. And then we have the 5 big ones just for the live stream. And then we're going to do requests as well. First one on the list, the classic euro and the US dollar. Basically, I took a trade here, a buy setup. It's a liquidity sweep. So let me analyze it. Let me analyze this trade. What did I see? Well, I basically saw a channel right here. Okay. So when you see a channel, usually there is going to be liquidity above and below the channel. And then I also saw some buying pressure in this leg and buying pressure in this leg as well. So there are going to be some buyers buying after this candle and possibly buying after this candle. Where do they put their stop losses? Most likely underneath this major low. So that's another confluence. And the third confluence is going to be this major low takeout. This area is definitely significant. Okay, so for me, there were at least 3 major confluences. The first one being the nice wide range. The second one being buying pressure inside of the range. And the third one being a major low takeout. When I see 3 major confluences and a significant level such as this one, I look for a push into that level, rejection of the level, large wick like this one, and then a nice bullish candle. Got in with a 10 pip stop loss, aiming for a 3-to-1 risk to reward. And just now I got taken out for a win. So during the night, it almost got to take profit and then reversed. Okay, and at this point, I was tempted to close it for a small profit, but I always have to follow the plan. I have to follow the stop loss and take profit rules. Left it in and just now got taken out for a 3R winner. And I am risking 0.5% on these liquidity sweep entries currently because they're still pretty new for me. So I want to get used to them and I want to still adjust my risk size. I started with 0.25, then now I'm at 0.5%. Gonna bump it up to 0.75 all the way to 1% per trade. That is the main goal in the end. And that is what I would suggest you guys as well. If you're implementing a new entry into your trading strategy, make sure you gradually increase the risk size. Okay, always gradually increase the risk. Never go full on 1% right from the start, because then the losses will come as they usually come and you're going to lose a lot of confidence. So that's it for EU. Now we can do, so I was still trading Guerrilla strategy. So I learned to trade in Guerrilla, but I kind of evolved from it and developed some new entries, some new trading styles. So yeah, now I'm doing my own thing. Do you ever trade Palladium? No, I only trade 6 currency pairs that you see here on the list. Okay, only focused on the 6 Forex pairs. Okay, we have the request is New Zealand US dollar, GBP, JPY. Okay, let's do NZD USD. On the 1 hour chart, I'm going to give you my analysis on the 1 hour because I exclusively trade the 1 hour chart, but we're also going to bump it up to, let's say, the 4 hour or the daily just to make things a bit more interesting. The 1 hour for me on most pairs is very flat and range bound. So I'm employing the liquidity sweep entry, which is a range bound sort of an entry on almost all of the currency pairs. I'm not trading it on all currency pairs, but I would be looking for the liquidity sweep on most of them. This one is not a different story. It's basically the same story as all of the other pairs. Flat, corrective, range bound. I would look what happens in these extremes right here and possibly right here. If we bump it up to the 4 hour, looks to be in a bit of an uptrend. Let's bump it up to the daily. The daily is kind of ascending, creating an ascending channel. So I would not be surprised that this actually reverses in the opposite direction. So the 1 hour chart is telling me that we are pretty flat. The 4 hour, I'm not kind of reading it, but the daily is telling me that this is maybe going to reverse because of the ascending channel. Okay, usually when I spot a clean ascending channel such as this one, then usually the price reverses in the opposite direction. Okay, so that's it for NU. Then we're gonna do GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Let's do OANDA. And for GBP JPY on this 1 hour chart, for me, according to my methodology, I have my highs and lows placed. It is this indicator right here that I use, GT recent high low by Bonk Hyun. I'm just waiting for the break of this high or this low. So when the price is stuck for me between this low and this high, as it is here, it's basically inside and ranging. I'm just more patient and I'm waiting for better price action. So my analysis for this currency pair is that it is range bound, flat, and corrective on this 1 hour chart. Bump it up to the 4 hour. Also flat, pretty flat right here. Daily, sort of in an uptrend, but not the cleanest. When I want to see a clean uptrend, I want to see large bullish legs and small pullbacks. Large bullish legs and small pullbacks, okay? And for me, this looks like a weak leg, large pullback. Nice leg, large pullback. Nice leg, absolutely huge pullback. So not the best, not looking the best. What I can spot is possibly a V reversal formation on the 4 hour chart. Possibly even a inverse head and shoulders, if you want to call it. It's all the same thing, okay? So head and shoulders, cup and handle, V reversals is the same thing, different name. What you expect when you see this sort of a formation, such as a V reversal or a inverse head and shoulders, you're expecting an uptrend, okay? So if we get the confirmation, if we get the signature, if we get the large impulse going up, well, then we can look for buy setups. That's it for GBP JPY. Okay, we have silver, EU, EG, and UC. Please, Marco. Yeah, sure. So let's do gold and silver because those are always interesting. I know you guys like those instruments. For me, gold is super flat. If I just squeeze the price action like this, it's looking like a very flat corrective range bound price action. This was, for me, clearly a fake out. What's a fake out? It is an impulse that retraces and continues ranging around. Okay, so you basically have the nice flat range, you have the impulse going up, and then it retraces heavily, aggressively, and possibly continues ranging around in this general area. So gold on the 1 hour chart is looking pretty flat. 4 hour, same story for me. This is also looking flat and corrective, so I don't see much. And on the daily, same story as well. So if I squeeze it out, sure, we had a very nice and a very clean uptrend right here. Okay, we definitely did, but now price is just pausing in this general area, We're getting some major selling pressure as well, as you can see in this candle, and this leg as well. So for me, this is flat, corrective, range bound. And if I'm a trend trader, which I'm trading trending entries and range bound entries, but I'm mostly focusing on most pairs. I'm trading only the trending entries. As a trend trader, I would not touch this price action. Okay, I think Miko said a similar thing right before me. I heard he said that most pairs, most instruments are in a sort of a consolidation, and that is definitely the case. Maybe on some Forex currency pairs we can get some movement because tomorrow is NFP, and NFP is a very important event. Usually NFP can create some nice trends. So that is it for gold. Silver may look a bit different. Let's check out silver. Yeah, it does look a bit different. What I'm seeing on silver is it's definitely not flat and range bound. It's overall moving in sort of a descending channel, if you can spot it, right? It's moving down, but very correctively. Notice how the major lows are being broken very correctively right here, here as well. We're not getting that major selling pressure. Instead, we're getting some very weak momentum each time we break. That's not a good sign for the price to go down. For me, that is a sign that the price wants to go up. So what I have found in my backtesting, usually if you get a nice clean descending channel like this, well, then price usually reverses in the opposite direction, starts a very nice and strong uptrend. We did get the signature right here. Okay, this was looking nice, but then we got some major selling pressure. The price just could not commit, especially with this candle. This is not a good story anymore. I wanted to see possibly a small pullback, nice clean flag formation, and then for the price to continue. Okay, that would be a good scenario. This is giving me a major warning sign now. So on the 1 hour, I would be more patient right now. On the 4 hour, looks pretty flat, to be honest. Looks pretty flat in the general area. If we just replay it by a little bit, according to my high and low methodology that I use, price was just stuck between the high and the low, broke the low, and as you can see, retraced. So yeah, I would not really touch silver. To be honest, daily is going to look... Well, daily was in an uptrend. Technically, it still is in an uptrend because it never broke this major low level. So we had a push-up, pullback, another push-up. Okay, I have my alarms going off to check the charts. I'm going to do it a bit later. Push-up, pullback, push-up again, but then major selling pressure. So I'm a trend trader. I'm a momentum trader as well. And if I'm seeing major selling pressure as I'm seeing right now, that's a major warning sign to me. I would not personally be a buyer in this market on silver. So that's it for silver. Then let me just quickly check my currency pairs because that is something that I do on top of each hour. Euro US dollar, pretty flat and corrective. EJ, Euro Japanese yen is flat here as well on this 1 hour chart. I exclusively trade the 1 hour chart. I do not look at any other time frames. Aussie US dollar, yeah, I was in a trade here as well. It was around the similar time as the Euro US dollar. We can break the trade down quickly. So what was I seeing? Well, basically, again, a couple of confluences that this level is going to get rejected. I was seeing a nice range right here. I was seeing some buying pressure in this leg. So this low is going to be significant. There's going to be some stop losses underneath this low. I was seeing 1, 2, 3 lows, 3 levels right here, and then all of them get taken out by this candle. It even takes out some of the prior levels as well. If you're into support and resistance, I think it did take these out just barely, just by 0.5 pips. But what I mainly focused was a takeout of these 3 lows. So we have a couple of confluences. Those are the nice range. Buying pressure here is going to attract some buyers to put their stop losses underneath this low. And then the third confluence is going to be a takeout of 1, 2, and 3 key lows. Price takes this level out, retraces, nice bullish candle. I get in with a 10 pip stop loss, aiming for a 3-to-1 risk to reward, risking 0.5% on this position, and the price hits the take profit during the night, somewhere like 2 in the morning. So this was a very nice, no-brainer, very high probability liquidity sweep setup. And that's what you can do in these range-bound conditions, okay? You can identify a flat range, which this definitely is, right? Very, very flat. You can identify the extremes of the range, such as this level, or maybe you want to even aim for the level above it, and then you wait to see how the price reacts in these levels. If the price can just push into them and retrace like this, then you basically sell the top, buy the bottom, and that's about it. You have a play, you have a trade, okay? So that is the basics of the liquidity sweep entry. And as you can see, most of the currency pairs are currently very, very stagnant and range bound. So the liquidity sweep is going to work very nicely. Aussie Japanese yen stuck between the high and the low. As you can see here, I'm being more patient on this 1 hour chart. Pound US dollar stuck between the high and the low. Okay. See this high, but you could implement a liquidity sweep right here because this price is looking very, very clean. So we identified the flat range, we identified the extremes of the range, and then we wait to see how the price reacts in these areas. If it just pushes into it, retraces with a nice bullish candle, or pushes here and retraces with a nice bearish candle, then you just sell the top, buy the bottom, and have a fixed stop loss, have a fixed take profit, a good aim for 3-to-1 risk to reward. That usually works very, very nicely according to my backtesting. 2-to-1 works even better, but 3-to-1 gives you the best percentage and win rate. Okay, no, the 2-to-1 gives you the best win rate, but the 3-to-1 gives you the best percentage overall. So that's it for the pound, and NJ is flat as well. It's looking the same as the Aussie Japanese yen. One thing I can see here though, if you can spot it, possibly a left shoulder head, and then this can be kind of a right shoulder. So if I can get the signature, it's also a V reversal. But basically, if I can get a large impulse up, if I can get the signature, I'm gonna be looking for buy setups. Okay, if I get the large impulse up, get a nice flag, sure, I'll look for buy setups. That's it for my 6 currency pairs, and now we can continue with the requests. So thank you, John. Thank you, Victor. Sylvia wants NAS 100, sure. But let's first do the S&P because that's definitely really, really important to cover. On the 1 hour chart, whoa, we had a big push up. Big push up on this 1 hour chart. This may just be some consolidation. So this is looking good. If we can get another signature of price going up, I would definitely be interested for some buy setups. Let's bump it up to the 4 hour. Yeah, this is looking very nicely. On the 4 hour, I would possibly look for a flag formation, okay? Because I really, really like this momentum. Yes, I'm not trading this live, but I'm definitely seeing a lot of momentum right here. The daily. Okay, the daily just broke this major high. Closed above it, that's a good sign, but my focus would be on the 4 hour, which looks very, very nicely. With this momentum, my bias is for this to continue going up, especially because a really good sign I can spot right here on the S&P is gonna be this large impulse going up and then this consolidation with zero selling pressure. So when you see a consolidation like this with absolutely zero selling pressure, then it is very, very likely that the price is going to continue up. So with that in mind, let's check out NAS 100. Let's do this one. It's looking the same. It's looking pretty similar to the S&P. It's looking very, very nice as well. So this is the exact pattern that I look for. It is the V reversal and the range. Price usually continues up. That is exactly what I was talking about. Sure, you can even make a case for an inverse head. So left shoulder, head, and then this can be a right shoulder, and then price goes up, okay? So it's all the same. You can even say this is a cup and a handle, The name doesn't matter. What matters is what happens next. And if you get the signature, usually price continues to the upside. So I would say that this has more room to go up, especially because of this consolidation right here with zero selling pressure. Bump it up to the 4 hour. It's looking very good. I'm seeing some major buying pressure. It looks even better than the S&P, to be honest. I think this leg is even bigger than on the S&P. Daily chart. Yeah, it's looking nice. Even the daily closed, so crushed this high, closed above the high. That is a bullish sign. My bias for the NAS 100 is going to be for the price to continue to the upside because I'm seeing absolutely zero evidence of a slowdown or of any selling pressure. And I think we had US 30 as well. This is not as good. This is not as good, especially on this 1 hour chart. I think this is pretty flat. Pretty corrective and range bound. So my guess would be that this is just continues to be range bound. What I would look for is, of course, some momentum in either direction. 4 hour flat as well, not seeing anything. The daily, just stuck, kind of stuck in this general area, this general level. So I would be more patient on the US 30. Okay. USD CHF, sure. USD CHF. Let's do OANDA data. OANDA data is better than FXCM. That's what at least I found. It's more reliable. And then after USD CHF, we're gonna do my view on prop firms, sure. And then we're gonna do Bitcoin because we forgot Bitcoin. It's definitely on my list. See Bitcoin. So for the USD CHF on the 1 hour chart, let's check it out. We had a downtrend, a definite downtrend, definitely some major selling pressure in this leg, So this is the first one, second one, third one, but now we're starting to kind of slow down a little bit, right? We're starting to get some flat price. We're starting to get some consolidation in this area. So I would look for just a large push up or a large push down like this. That is what I would look for on the USD CHF. If we bump it up to the 4 hour, it's in a nice downtrend. The 4 hour is looking better than the 1 hour because I like this leg. I like this leg as well. And the final one, three major bearish legs. That's a really good sign that the price can continue down. Seeing some buying pressure right now, but it's not that concerning, to be honest. When I weigh it up, I think the sellers are still in control. If we bump it up to the daily, I think it's going to look okay. The daily has a large impulse down. So the 4 hour is looking the best to me. The 4 hour is looking really nicely. A flag did form as well. First low, first high, second low, second high. Red candle would be the entry candle for me. So it's looking okay. My bias is for this to go down. Now let's do Bitcoin. Bitcoin, 1 hour, not going to find out much on the 1 hour, 4 hour, flat. The daily, let's do the daily on Bitcoin because, yeah, so the Bitcoin is just heavily consolidating in this general area. It's looking flat and corrective, but it is not showing major selling pressure. So that's a good sign. What I thought was going to happen, to be honest with you, I thought at this point we're going to drop heavily. We're going to drop all the way to 50K, no problem. And then it's going to be like a crypto winter. Because we rejected from that level, because we now showed some major buying pressure and went back very close to the all-time high right here. Okay, we are very close to it. I think this is going to go up. I think this is going to pierce that high again. This may just be some consolidation. If we go to the weekly chart, let's try that one. I think this may just be some consolidation before the price continues up. Just crushes this high and continues up. So I would not be surprised if Bitcoin does go up. Just by gauging the momentum, sure, seeing some selling pressure, but it's not a lot. It's definitely not as big as the buying pressure. So my bias is for this to go to the upside. Again, I would not do anything. I would not do absolutely anything before we crush this key level, break out of this key level, break that high, close above it on the daily like this, and preferably even the next day that we continue with the buying and that it closes bullish as well. That would be a great bullish scenario for me personally. But yeah, Bitcoin with the technicals, even with the fundamentals, it kind of all goes out of the window. Okay, I cannot really apply my technical knowledge, and I believe Nick talked about that he has a tough time applying fundamental knowledge to Bitcoin as well, because it just moves how it wants to move, right? When it trends, it just trends very, very heavily without much explanation or without much reason. As you can see here, right? Just explosion to the upside, and it happened a couple of times before as well here. So no one really knows what Bitcoin will do, but what I do know is when it trends very, very heavily. Okay, that's it for the BTC. My view on prop firms, I think they are very, very useful, but traders need to be extremely careful with prop firms. So most of them are pretty bad scammers. They kind of do not want to pay you out. The business model of a prop firm is that when you win money, they lose money. Okay, so they make all of their profits from the failed challenge fees, and they pay out the winning traders from the failed challenge fees as well. So when you win money on your funded account, you're basically getting paid out straight from the prop firm pocket. So there is a big conflict of interest, and there is a big incentive for them not to pay you out, especially if you make like tens of thousands of dollars. But there are a couple of prop firms which are safe, which do actually pay you out. Sure, they operate with the same business model as a casino, but they are fair and they do actually stick to their word. And if you can pass phase 1, pass phase 2, get to the funded stage, you can be making some really, really nice withdrawals. So my best advice is stick to the big guys in the prop firm space, and it is definitely worth it to try out a prop firm account if you have the trading skills. Okay. So it's a tough industry, but if you know what you're doing and if you go with the reputable firms, you can make money. Okay. Let's do the Euro NZD. Sure. NZD, and then we're gonna do JP225 because I haven't looked at that one for a long time, so I'm interested to see it. Euro NZD on the 1 hour chart, actually, this is looking pretty bullish to me personally. I'm seeing a very, very big descending channel, and what did I say about descending channels is I expect the price to reverse in the opposite direction. So when I see a clean, large descending channel, I look for signature, bullish signature, and then I expect the price to go up. This is exactly what I'm looking for, right? This signature right here, which is looking very, very bullish. This leg is nice. This leg is nice as well. So I would not be surprised if we get more upside. If we get more upside on the euro and the New Zealand dollar. Okay, this is looking like a very bullish scenario for me personally. JP225. Let's see it, JP225. Okay, so I believe this is the Japanese stock exchange. So for this one on the 1 hour chart, it's looking flat and corrective. I think I need to bump it up. I definitely need to bump it up to the 4 hour V reversal, but still looking flat and corrective. Let's go to the daily. Just a mess, just a complete mess in my personal opinion. So I would say this is flat, this is corrective, this is range bound, and as a trend trader, I would be more careful. Okay, as a trend trader, I would definitely be more careful inside of this price action. It's looking very choppy. Weekly, maybe we can take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I don't see much of a bullish case. I'm seeing, sure, a very, very strong uptrend right here as well, but then we're getting some major selling pressure in this impulse. So that's a major warning sign for me personally, and I would be more careful on this instrument. GBP CAD. Yeah, so let's do GBP CAD. It's going to be our last one for today, and then we are going to wrap up the stream. So GBP CAD. On this 1 hour chart, it's looking pretty ascending to me, even more flat than ascending. It's looking like a small ascending channel, but not the best. I'm not really seeing much clean price action. So yeah, I would say this is kind of in no man's land. I would wait for the break of the high or the low. 4 hour moving up overall, but kind of correctively. The daily looks good. Okay, the daily is showing me some nice momentum. We even have the V reversal confluence in the price action. We have the V, we have the range. First leg up, and then we continue. So I would say on the daily, this definitely has more steam to go up. This to me is looking very, very clean. You have the V reversal and you have the established uptrend as well. And that would be about it. Why do you tend to analyze bottom up? Because I only trade on the 1 hour chart. So I always start with the 1 hour chart, right? Because on my 6 currency pairs, I only trade on the 1 hour. On the other pairs I analyze, I always start automatically on the 1 hour and just expand to the 4 hour and the daily and the weekly. And that would be about it for this stream. Yep. Thank you guys very much for watching. And
hey, Marco, I want to thank you for all your help with the streams while Nick was gone. I know you helped a little last week as well. So this was awesome. We appreciate you coming on.
No worries.
I believe we're expecting one more guest to show up. So I'm sort of stalling at the moment.
Sure. Well, I can do some more questions if you want until the guest.
Yeah. If you want to do a couple more questions, I'm sure he'll be here soon.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe just one or two more, and then I'll probably hop in again, and then.
No worries. We have some requests in the chat, so I'm sure we'll find something to analyze.
Right, cool.
Yep. Sure. Okay, so let's continue for a little while longer. One out of the pairs mentioned, which would be the New York movers to focus on during these sessions? Well, for me, it's not really about time zones. For me personally, on the 1 hour chart, I do not really focus on the time zones. What I can tell you about the 6 currency pairs that I trade is EU likes to move in the London session, EJ likes to move in the London session, and of course the Asia session. Aussie US dollar moves throughout the whole 3 sessions. Aussie US dollar is very, very active. AJ is same thing as Aussie US dollar, but maybe more in Asia. Pound US dollar likes to move in the Euro session and the New York session, of course. And NJ moves mostly, I would say, it moves a lot in the Asia session. So AJ and NJ move a lot in the Asia session. But I do not pay much attention. I just look at the charts, monitor them. I have my alarm set on the smartwatch, and on top of each hour, I just check the charts, keeping it simple. So you only do 1 hour, 4 hour daily? Yeah, for the live stream. But for my live trading, I only do the 1 hour chart analysis. For this live stream, I usually go first the 1 hour, then I bump it up to the 4 hour, and then daily, and then weekly if needed. Okay, if the daily is not showing me anything. Okay. Why only trade the 1 hour chart? Well, there's a real simple reason. Is to actually keep it simple, okay? It's to make trading easier and more simple, and to give me the freedom of time. Because if I'm trading on the 5 minute or the 15 minute, I'm going to be at the charts the whole day, basically. I'm going to be glued at least for 6 to 8 hours, the London session or the New York session. So I'm going to be at the PC, in the flat, stuck on this chair for the whole day, which is something I do not really want to do. I want to have my freedom of time. And if I'm trading only the 1 hour chart, I can just have my phone around me. Okay, I can have my alarms set. And on top of each hour, I need to check my phone for 30 seconds. That's it. So I could be traveling, going to the gym, taking lunch, just basically doing anything, and just check the charts on my phone for a couple of seconds every hour. That's it. So it really gives you a lot of freedom of time. Downside is I sometimes have to wake up during the night. So that is usually a negative, because if a setup is forming, if the markets are really, really trending, then yes, I may wake up during the night once or twice, which can have an impact on your psychology. It does make me a bit cranky the next day, and I need to catch up on some sleep. But it's worth it, right? There's always advantages and disadvantages to all approaches. Trading only the 1 hour chart, you get the freedom of time during the day, but maybe once or twice per month, you need to wake up at 5 in the morning to execute a setup. Do you look for entries on 15 minutes since you trade and analyze on 1 hour? No. So I take all of my entries on the 1 hour as I took this one. Okay, as I took this one, this was a 1 hour entry. Aussie US dollar was the same thing. Okay, Aussie US dollar was a 1 hour entry as well. So I just analyze the price action in the 1 hour and execute on the 1 hour chart as well. If you want to see a flag setup that's like not a liquidity sweep, but a trending entry, let me show you that. We have a flag setup right here. See? This is a flag setup, 10 pips. So we have the first high, first low, second high, second low, and the blue candle is going to be the entry candle. So it's very, very simple to get in. Okay. EU buy, they're wicking it to get everyone out, but it's an up move coming. Let me check it out. Well, actually, yeah, so it possibly took out the liquidity above this range. So it may reverse down. No one really knows. Okay, may do something like this. I'm not looking for any entries right now. This liquidity area above this range is not that significant. I would need a couple of more confluences, such as, let's say, it takes out this high, then it's a different story because this is definitely a major high right here. But this high is not really that important in my book. What is your monthly expectations? How many trades do you take a week? And your opinion on FTMO 5%ers alpha, just your view. So I take around, I would say, 2 or 3 trades per week, or sorry, 1 to 3 trades per week, which translates to 4 to 12 trades per month. Okay, that is my average number of trades. And my opinion for FTMO 5%ers and alpha, FTMO awesome, 5%ers very good, alpha pretty new in the game, and I heard some horror stories with alpha, especially they have bad spreads as well. So alpha, I would be a bit more careful with that prop firm. But the OGs, the FTMO 5%ers, they have been in the game for a really long time, and I think they're going to stay in the prop firm game for a long time, which is really important. You do not want to pass a challenge and then get a funded account 6 months later, the prop firm is gone. Okay, so you need to be really careful, and I would say stick to the OGs, stick to the oldest ones and the biggest ones. Those are going to be FTMO 5%ers definitely. Okay. Do you hold any long-term investments or just trade? Currently, I just put all of my money into my trading account because I do not have access to higher leverage. I use IC Markets Europe, which has 1 to 30 leverage. But my friends have access to IC Markets Global because they live in different countries, and then they keep only a part of their capital in the trading account. They use leverage to have a, let's say, a bigger trading account, and then they keep the rest of the money in S&P 500, in Bitcoin, and in Ethereum. Okay, so those are some good investments, I would say, especially the S&P 500. I think you cannot go wrong with buying an index such as the S&P. Why so many correlation positions? Well, you would be surprised that it's not actually that correlated because I'm very, very specific and very, very careful for the actual entry. So an entry the price may trend on the Euro US dollar and the Euro Japanese yen at the same time, but a high probability entry may only form on the Euro and the US dollar. So you would be surprised that the correlation is not that big. Usually, yes, a lot of the pairs trend at the same time, but only one of them will present an actual high probability entry setup, which fits my plan. I'm very, very picky. Very, very picky with trades. So I take a very low amount of trades, I would say. So you don't leave runners? I definitely do leave runners. I have 2 different management styles for the trending entries and for the range bound entries as well. Let me give you an example of a trending entry. Let's go to Aussie US dollar. Let's find a nice flag. Here is one. So nice flag position, and a flag position for me is a trending entry. So I identified the large bullish pressure in this leg. I found a nice, quick, tight flag. First high, first low, second high, second low. Blue candle is going to be the entry candle. Enter with a fixed stop loss. I use 10 pips. And then I leave the take profit level blank. Okay, so I just use a trailing stop loss, and it's completely mechanical. The trailing stop loss rule is completely mechanical. Price goes in my favor. Breaks this high, so pulls back, breaks the high. I move my stop loss 2 pips below this low, 2 pips below this red line, and just keep following the trade as the price goes. So another counter trend move, price breaks the high, move my stop loss even more. It's completely mechanical. There is zero discretion in the way I manage the trending entries. Pulls back one more time, breaks the high, put the stop loss even higher, and I think you get my point. Goes up even more, and then finally I think it did reverse somewhere here. Okay, pulls back one more time. Let me see the highs. Yeah, it pulled back, breaks that high, 2 pips below this low. So now I'm locked in 4.28% on this trade, and then it finally takes me out. Right. So if I was using a fixed 3-to-1 take profit, I would miss out on some percentage. That's why for the trending entries, because I really want to get those runners, I want to get those big runners, I use a trailing stop loss methodology, and I can get 8-to-1, 10-to-1. In January of 2023, we even had a 25% winning trade on the euro and the Japanese yen because the stop loss was so small. We use a fixed stop loss. Let me give you that example. It's an interesting trade. So if we go to 2023, we go to January. Okay, it's right here. So basically right here, identify the nice ascending channel. Very clean ascending channel. This is exactly what I was talking about throughout the stream. Very clean ascending, nice break of the low, clean close, big red candle. I placed the order on the prior low, fixed 12 pip stop loss. Price takes me in right here and then starts dropping, at which point I just follow it with the trade management rule, and then yeah, it was just a big drop to the downside. It was absolutely a huge trade. And finally, I think it reversed at this point. So 2 pips above this high. Oh, okay, so it continued down even more. And then I think it finally did reverse. Yeah, so here it reversed and took me out. This was like a 27% winner. It was absolutely huge. But yeah, that's it for the example. What's the best trading broker to start trading with? Well, I use IC Markets, but again, I'm not sure. I think you guys are from the US. Maybe in the US there's a better broker. Yeah, you're in Massachusetts. That's in the US. So I'm not sure about the US. I know for Europe, IC Markets is very good. It has really good spreads, and it's pretty safe as well. Never had an issue withdrawing from IC Markets. Do you look for fair value gaps in your strategy? So no, I do not look at fair value gaps. I think that's an ICT concept, right? So no, I just stick to pure price action. I want to keep it really simple. I do not like the fancy names. I just want the basics, the basic names, the basic price action, and the basic formations such as V reversal, ascending, descending channel, maybe a head and shoulders pattern, flag formation, continuation pattern, break and retest. Very simple. Then the trade will be too late. Buy. Prop firms are scams. They are booking your trades, just trading a demo, getting paid out the fees of the losers. Yeah, basically. So they're not taking your trades. They are kind of acting as book brokers. But if you can make money on the reputable firms, you will get paid out. So it's a really good way to scale up your capital. you should use a trusted unregulated broker, and then you can get 500x leverage. Yeah, I'm not going to touch an unregulated broker. I'm definitely not going to even go close to an unregulated broker. What's the best trading broker to start trading with? Again, depends if you're from the US. I think it's best to ask Nick about this. So next Thursday, I'm sure Nick will be on the live stream. Definitely ask him this question. But I'm using IC Markets. Sorry to ask you, as you are experienced, just your view about E8 funding pips and any other reputable firms. I would stick to the big guys that I'm personally using. That's going to be FTMO, and I'm not using 5%ers, but they are kind of the OGs. Do you keep your risk constant on every trade, Marco? Yeah. Basically, for my training entries, it's 1% for every single trade. For the range bound entries, it's going to be 0.5% for every single trade for now. Yeah. And I think that kind of wraps it up, right?
Yep, that's right. Marco, I'm going to set you free. You're free to go.
No worries. We still have a lot of questions. They just keep coming.
Yeah, they'll never stop. Trust me.
Yeah.
They'll never stop. If you try to answer all of them, we'd be here all night. But I know you're talking about brokers. We actually do have some brokers in the description, guys, if you want to check those out. Those are some we've vetted, and so those are some pretty good choices if you're interested in looking around. But Marco, I've put your channel in the chat. I'll do it once more, and appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and see you next week. Is Nick coming next week?
Yes, Nick will actually be back tomorrow for NFP. So yeah, we'll see him next week. So we'll be back to regular scheduled programming.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and see you. Goodbye.
Yep. See you then. See you. All right, guys, and now for our final guest of the day, we've got Forex James is back. I've heard he's got a little trouble with his webcam, so we might not see his face, but we'll hear him from beyond, which is good enough. That's fine. So I'm going to run one more quick break, and then we'll tune in with him. So here we go.
Howdy folks, I hope you're enjoying the A1 Trading Show, and I just want to let you know that we are currently doing a flash sale on the EDGEFINDER. This week, you can currently get 25% off if you send a direct message to our support staff standing by who helps keep the show running smoothly. If you use the link that's being dropped in the chat or the first link down below in the description, you'll be connected to a real person on my staff who can set you up with a 25% off discount on the EDGEFINDER, and if you'd like to get access to the Discord, we'll throw that in too for a nice 25% off the price. If you have not already taken advantage of this sale, you can click the first link in the description or chat with us by using the chat link below. Keep on enjoying the show, and now let's get back to it.
Hey guys, apologies, there's no camera today. For some reason it just won't connect. My computer just can't find it, so unfortunately there's nothing I can do there. But that doesn't mean we can't go through the markets together. So if there's anything you guys want me to cover specifically, if you've got any questions, we can go over those. In the meantime, I can show you the current trades I've got open. So I am long gold. We discussed this, I think it was Tuesday. I told you that I had taken it, and Monday we were discussing a potential possibility on gold. So, cool. Okay, so yeah, what's going on with gold? We had a nice hold of the support. However, at this point, I just wasn't, at this point, I just wasn't overly confident that this was going to hold. And it ended up, it did end up holding. It moved quite nicely up here. I actually entered off the H4, I think, so the 4 hours. So once we got a quite strong confirmation of a bounce off support, I entered here and we came straight back down into drawdown, and now we're moving back to the upside, which is nice. We've broken through this resistance. Looks like we've had a break and retest. So if we go back to the hourly, you can see that we had a great push, broken through the highs, come back down to retest, and now hopefully this is continuation to go higher. We also have the nice cross on the moving averages to confirm that we're looking to buy. So we're looking for this uptrend to continue. So that's it with gold, really. I mean, the driving factors haven't changed. Obviously, we had some US news come out, but it wasn't anything that's changed my mind. I don't think the news was even positive really for the dollar. Now, there is another position here, which is long dollar, which is a bit contradictory on what I just said, but there's a reason I'm long on the USD HUF, and it's actually very simple. So there's no complexities behind this. This is more of an experimental trade. So I've taken this with very, very low risk. I think overall, roughly maybe 0.2% of my account, but there's not actually a hard stop. This is just a rough area of where I may want to get out. And the reason is because I'm trading from seasonality. So this is purely based on historical data. So if we look from where is this? So today's date through to my birthday, actually, which is 7th of July, over the past 10 years through over the past 10 years for the month coming up, we have only 1 loss and 9 gains. So what that means is 1 year of a negative return, and the other 9 years have been positive returns. So we have a 90% win rate, 6 gains of a 6-win streak, 10 trades. So average profit of 3.49%. So yeah, not very. Oh wait, sorry, I just realized you guys can't see. Hold on, let me just bring this back. Let me see if I can show you the entire screen. There we go. Sorry, I realized you guys couldn't see the tab there. Can you guys see it now? Don't think you can. Never mind. I'll just bring it back. Never mind. Ignore that. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit new to streaming here. So, screen's back. I can't see the chat. I'm not sure if I can't see any new message in the chat. I'm not sure if there is any or if I'm just missing them. So yeah, USD HUF is purely a seasonality play. I wouldn't recommend following this. I've not sent it to my Discord. I've not really said much publicly about this because, like I said, it's an experimental trade. Not something I would really advise following. So moving forwards, we had, what was it? The European news today, which is, what day are we? Thursday. Oh, it's gone. Sorry, let me do this week. So we had interest rate decisions, which was cut by 25 basis points, which was expected. If any of you guys read bank reports, so you look at sort of general research by other traders, then you'll know that the rate cut wasn't really a shock. It was kind of expected, really. So not really much movement here. I mean, obviously relative, but for me, this was basically nothing. We didn't really create any trend. We've not broken any structure, really. Nothing's happened here. So it doesn't really change my bias going long euro dollar. I actually think the rate cut was bullish for the euro. And I had a few people asking me why I thought that in my community. And it's not quite as simple as people think. So rate cuts don't necessarily mean bearish. Rate hikes don't necessarily mean bullish. You need to take into account other economic factors. I won't yabble on too much about that. But if you want me to explain further, feel free to let me know. But yeah, overall, looking to go long euro dollar still, especially with Fed cuts coming later in the year that I've been speaking about. So yeah, I think that's basically it, really. I'm not looking to take any more trades, really. So dollar yen, I am quite bullish, relatively bullish. I think there's a heavy unwinding of carry trades on the yen pairs at the moment. So carry trades are basically profiting from the swaps. We spoke about this again. I think this was Monday or Tuesday. So I won't repeat myself too much, but carry trades, yeah, essentially just profiting from swaps rather than getting negative swaps. You get positive ones. And that happens due to the differential in interest rates in the currencies you're trading. So I think there is an unwinding. You can see if we look at the daily time frame on dollar yen, there was pretty aggressive moves to the upside from sort of, when was this? Should be quite a while now. Let's say from around January 2020, it was kind of a consistent move to the upside. We did have pullbacks and things. However, the narrative is sort of softening now a little bit. There's not as much there's not as much of an aggressive move to the upside. And you can tell by the way people are talking about the dollar yen in sort of the reports. Not, I don't mean on social media and things. I mean more in a general terms from the professionals. There's more of a consensus of holding off on euro dollar, on dollar yen rather than trying to buy it. Just because there's some factors that may come later in the year, sort of into 2025, that could potentially start pushing the dollar yen down. Again, I don't know if you guys heard, but in my webinar, it might have been last week now, but I was talking that the 135 level is quite attractive to institutions, and that may be the target sort of next year going forwards as we start moving down. And again, this will take into account the Fed cuts and potential Bank of Japan news that should be quite positive. Do you think the Bank of England will cut rates too? That's a good question. I haven't really heard anything about the Bank of England cutting yet. But yeah, it wouldn't, I'm not really too interested in the pound at the moment. But yeah, I think there's a bit of uncertainty at the minute because we've got elections for the UK and for the US. So we've got general elections in the UK. And the general idea, so don't take this word for word, take this with a pinch of salt, but the general idea is that if Labour gets voted in, so if you guys don't know, I know that UK politics are a lot smaller and a lot less understood than the US politics. So currently there is the Conservative government in, and that was with Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and Liz Truss is the one that created the mini budget, and the mini budget essentially crashed the pound. Not literally crashed the pound, but it did some serious damage to the pound. So I think there's a lot of sort of concern, really, if the Tories do stay in, where will the pound be? Because the economy isn't doing too hot at the minute with the Conservative government. So if Labour's voted in, there is a possibility that will bring some strength into the economy or in some hope into the pound. So overall, I'm looking to go bullish because the general idea, especially between sort of the Gen Z and millennials, is that they're kind of sick of the Tories. Basically all my life, the Tories is Conservative government, by the way, have been in power, and it's not led to very much positivity, really. Anyway, sorry, I kind of rambled on that one, but yeah, pound, we can have a look at the pound dollar. So yeah, I'm looking to buy pound dollar anyway, just because of the weaker dollar, not necessarily because of a stronger pound yet. But there's not much here, in my opinion, technically. We are slightly moving to the upside, but generally speaking, we aren't really moving anywhere. So we're kind of stuck in this sort of range, if you will. We did break out to the downside, but this sort of didn't really lead to much. We created a lower low, and now we've come up to now create higher highs, and now we've got a lower high. So it's not trending, it's not moving in a very definitive way. It's not, for example, making higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows, lower highs. It's more a case of it's a bit stagnant. So once we see a clear direction, then I'll be looking to potentially go long. If we are going short, then I might not get involved. Not too interested there. Public health, no problem at all. Buy euro dollar. But yeah, why not? Obviously, you would need to pay attention to what's going on in the world. But overall, I don't disagree with the idea of going long. UK economy is cooked regardless of who gets in power, to be honest. Would Labour's looser fiscal policy not be bearish for the pound, though? Ben, yes, essentially. However, I'm more talking on a broad perspective. So, as I was saying, I think the problem is that we have had a Tory government for so long. Look at the state of the UK. If you're not in the UK, obviously you won't know what I'm talking about. But the NHS, which is the health service, is essentially free. It's paid by our taxes. And it used to be with the Labour government, you could make an appointment or book an appointment and get in the same day to see your doctor or your GP, which is a general practitioner. And now it's not uncommon to have to wait a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months. People are in ER wards with having heart attacks Sorry, not even in the wards, in the waiting rooms, having heart attacks. People are in the hallways dying because they can't get into the wards because there's no space, there's no funding. So all these types of things, there's just nothing going on in the UK that's positive. So overall, I think, if Labour's voted in, there will just be that glimmer of hope that this will be fixed, and not talking about necessarily fiscal policies and genuine news releases. Starmer, different puppet, same strings. This is another aspect, isn't it? The governments are, same text, different font, if you will, or like you said, puppet, different strings. So I'm not a huge government lover anyway, really, just because of the way that they're run. I think that it's more business operated rather than in favor of the citizens and the people. But yeah, I mean, I could go on about this for ages. I'm not in a great place with the government at the minute. So we can talk about some charts. I don't want to bore you guys. I know I do a lot of talking compared to some of the other guests that do a lot of chart work and things. So dollar daily time frame is in a tricky spot, in my opinion. We've got quite a strong daily support here that's not doing much. It's holding, but it's not bouncing. So you can see right here, we are at the support, but it's not coming back up, and it's not breaking below. We're just stagnant, and I really don't like this. I like to see fluid movements in markets. So yeah, I'm not too happy about this. So I'm waiting for some sort of something to happen. I mean, hopefully tomorrow the NFP will actually start moving, and that way we can break out. Either way, we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty negative, so I think that we will see NFP numbers lower, maybe not lower than expected, but definitely lower than previous. I'm actually not sure what the forecasted number is. Let me see. Okay, so the forecast is actually higher than prior, which is interesting. Unemployment forecasted to stay the same. So we'll see. ADP news came out. ADP can be used as a general guide for NFP. So ADP it's obviously not a signal. It's not a case of ADP was positive, NFP is positive. That's not what I'm saying. But it can be used as a rough estimate. So ADP was negative. So again, using that as well as just the cooling US economy, it wouldn't be a surprise if it was negative as well. So generally speaking, on a sort of a technical aspect, NFP comes down. We may hit support either sort of here or down here. Ignore my rudimentary arrows. So I'm definitely not as good at drawing as Nick is on computers. So this is kind of what I expect. One of these two levels to be hit, and this is if NFP comes out negative. Of course, it could come out positive. I could be talking completely wrong here. In which case, if it is positive, I mean, this is the daily time frame, of course, so it's unlikely to move this much just from NFP. But yeah, we could be coming back up to the highs here, and then potentially a move down. We'll see. If ECB cut rate, shouldn't that mean the euro is going south? Fed didn't cut yet, so I expect pullback at least until the Fed is cutting rates. Well, this is what I was just saying. The hikes and cuts aren't as black and white as bullish and bearish. It takes into account some other things. So I actually wrote a explanation to my Discord this morning. Let me try and find it. Oh, you guys can't see it. So bullish factors for the cuts is economic growth. Lower rates can stimulate economic activity by making borrowing cheaper for businesses and consumers. If the market believes this will effectively invigorate the Eurozone economy, it could strengthen the euro over time. However, there are bearish factors, for example, lower interest rate differential. Reduced interest rates make the euro less attractive to investors compared to currencies with higher yields, often leading to capital outflows and weakening of the euro. So we'll see. Of course, like that's what I was saying. It depends on other factors. It's not just a case of bullish or bearish. However, because of the Eurozone economy, I think that this cut is actually quite good. I don't think it's a case of it's cut and now we're going to see the euro tank down. Ben, yes, I also have said that the euro rate cut was already priced in because the institutions already expected this. So, you know, the ECB was pretty vocal about this cut. It's not unexpected, so definitely wasn't unexpected, and yeah, priced in. Last thing we want is Labour government. This mess, the mess in this country is because of Labour gov led by Blair. Get a life, John. I'm not in favor of either. Don't take any attacks from me, brother. I'm just explaining what I think of the markets, not what I think of governments. What is happening with NFP? Lorenzo NFP is at 1:30 BST, so British summertime. Expected to be higher than prior, but I don't think it will be. If markets were as easy as going short when central banks lowers rates and long when they rise them, then everyone will be rich. This stuff gets priced in. Yes, Ben, exactly. Yeah, John, don't take to heart what I said. It's not. I'm not here to give my political views. Again, it was just an outlook on the pound, rather than, you know, me saying I want either one to succeed. I to be honest couldn't care less. I'll make money either way, and if I don't like it, I'll move. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. I don't really have much else to discuss. I'm not looking for any trades until after the NFP release anyway. I'm just staying in my current positions, which is gold and the USD against the HUF. Let me just double check that I'm not missing anything. Wheat. I'm not sure if you guys were here again, but I was talking about a bearish wheat play for quite a while. So it's still not quite at the time that I want it to be. So I'm still waiting, but the bearishness has come into the market. You can see we've got these two bearish weekly candles that have come in. The daily has just about to turn bearish by the looks of it with the moving averages. So I would like to see a little move higher so I can enter into a short and then take it back down to support. Again, that's based off seasonality. USD NOK. So the NOK is quite undervalued. It's actually viewed as one of the most undervalued currencies in the G10. So I am looking to go short USD NOK. This would work really well with the weaker dollar as well. So this is probably my most favorite potential trade actually at the moment. I'm just waiting for an entry. So at the moment, I'm not convinced. So my entry criteria just isn't here. You know, where hourly has just turned bullish, so I don't want to start selling in a bullish market. Bernard, hi, can we have outlook on copper? I have absolutely no idea about copper. To be perfectly honest with you, it's not something I've ever traded. So I can give you a technical outlook, but I really don't know what's going on behind the scenes with copper. I don't know really much about it, to be frank. So let me have a look. I know copper did really, really well. Yeah, here. I know it was quite big news when this move happened, actually. And now we're starting to see it come back down. So again, because I don't really know much about copper, I'm not totally sure what drove this move. Unfortunately, I wish I had that information for you. So we had, let me just move this down. Yeah, 42% move is huge, especially in not that much time, really. So February through to May. Yeah, quite short time, really, to move such a large amount, especially on copper. So from a technical aspect, I'd be looking to take a long position just because from my view, this is still a bullish market. So let's see. Yeah, So again, just from a technical view, I would potentially look to be going long here, but you know, whatever drove this move could now be completely invalid. So it may actually be coming to correct this move and come lower down, in which case I would be looking to go short, potentially just back down to this previous high here. And that would be my technical play. John, good. Best wishes to you too. Ben, next few months. Ben, I'm not sure what you mean by the next few months. Maybe I missed something. Anton, holding period only risk. Yeah, I don't think we're in a risk on market, to be honest. I think it's a case of quite risk off at the moment, just because, again, we've got the elections coming up. I don't think there's a huge desire by many people to start pumping lots of money into the USD. I think, obviously, the elections are actually in a couple of months, aren't they? They're not that soon, but we do have the debates coming up. I think it's on the 27th, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the correct date. But yeah, I think a lot of inflow is towards gold at the moment. Any other questions? If not, I don't really have much else to share with you, but more than happy to answer some questions if there are any. I'll give it 5 minutes. Okay, never mind. Chandler's here.
Okay. Yeah. James, we appreciate you coming on as many times as you did this week. It was pretty awesome. Me and the A1 James, we were very appreciative of that.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. If you ever need me, just send me an email. I'll come on. Yeah,
no, we love having you. You're a great fit. So I've been putting your website, guys. Go check out Elite Traders. James is there. He's got there's a Discord community there. It's a very large Discord community. There's educational stuff, trading tools, just things, just essentials. It's there. So there's the link for that. All you gotta do is click that. I've done all the work. I've found it for you. You just got to click it. It'll take you right there.
Thanks a lot.
And then James, I've been putting your personal YouTube in the chat as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the only one I have actually.
Also, so there's that for you guys also. But James, we appreciate you coming on. And thanks for all your help this week.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a great week. Have a profitable NFP. I'll hopefully see you very soon.
Okay, yeah, for sure. We'll be in touch.
Great stuff.
All right, guys. So that concludes the subathon, I guess. With all of our guests, they did an excellent job. I'm so glad that we've got so many guests who are willing to come on and really just show off their trading knowledge, and they seem to be very very happy to do it, and they seem to enjoy it. So I'm glad that we can round them all up and put them in one place. It's cool to have a place that brings in guests from literally all over the world. We have people from every corner coming onto this show. So that's just so awesome that we can do that. And thank you guys for sticking around. Nick will be back tomorrow, actually, for NFP. Not even Ireland can keep him away from looking at NFP. So yeah, expect Nick tomorrow. So he'll be back. And then from then on, it's just normal show from then. So thanks guys for coming. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's A1 Trading Show. Make sure to subscribe and to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Also, we're looking for more guests to come on the show. If you're comfortable being on camera, have trading experience, and you're looking to grow your audience exposure, we'd love to have you on. In the live stream chat and description below, we'll drop a link to apply to be a live stream guest and join in on the conversation. We hope to have you on soon. That's all for today. Trade safe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeehaw!